stop the cross because Armstrong is in an offside position, so he can't be passed the ball anyway. But he doesn't because he just thinks it's 2 against 1. So he's actually, for him, in a good position, not by selling himself. And that's where he needs leadership from behind him, saying, close the ball down. Don't worry about Armstrong. He's offside. And because he doesn't, it's a free ball into the box. And yes, it might take a bit of a flick. And 1 or 2 other things might have happened as well. But again, as managers would say, if you stop things at source, it's the easiest way to defend your goal. Is stopping things at source. Don't give them, when they've got all the momentum, when they're applying all the pressure, don't give them easy chances to put balls in the box, putting you under even more pressure when they've got players that are willing to go and attack the ball, as we're saying. It just takes that little bit of little bit of leadership, little bit of a voice in certain areas and at certain times, just to iron those little issues out.
It feels, Matt, like we're speaking a little bit negatively here. I understand that Leicester were 2-0 up and it has ended 2-2, and there were reasons why things maybe could have been done differently, but there are certainly positives to be taken this evening.
Yeah, which is you would hope would be the case with Leicester, because the talent that they have in the ranks. But I think they're valid and good points that Jerry's making there. So those little moments have such a big impact there, and they can be corrected, and they can be ironed out, and they can be stopped. To concentrate on the positive emphasis of things, without doubt, in that first half, it was quite an open, entertaining game after a slow, sort of immediate first couple of minutes or so. But both sides show a willingness to go and play football and play in an attractive manner, and Leicester are pretty good at that. The goal was from the penalty, and with Ayew converting in a very composed manner, but Mavididi, nice bit of skill, but it was pressure because Leicester were getting forward and getting into good areas in and around that time. They looked to cut through any pressure from Bristol City with relative ease, and De Cordova was picking up positions. The wide boys were, I wouldn't say in full flow, but they were impressive, as was mentioned. And of course Jordan James was bursting into space as well, and all looked positive. So yeah, you have to look at the overall picture. But listen, again, I repeat myself pretty much every game. I expect that sort of performance from Leicester because I know what the capabilities are. I see them regularly. I'm fortunate enough to do so. I see the qualities of the players. When they're in a certain frame of mind, they're as good as anyone in this division. It's just that sustainability factor, if you like. And I don't know why they can't maintain it for the duration of a game or game after game. As a lot of teams struggle for that in this division, to be fair. But yeah, listen, all said and done, it's an arduous schedule coming up, but the squad was tested to the max there at the end, and I wouldn't say it looked threadbare, but it looked very youthful. But I don't know. There might be a little bit of managers thinking about the schedule coming ahead. Ipswich is going to be a tough game. They're hitting some form, aren't they? So I think, I don't know. You haven't got time in this situation to cast a little bit of an eye on the weekend, but it'll soon come round, wouldn't it? And that will be another real test for Leicester at the weekend, as tonight was, because I thought conceding that early goal, I mentioned it a couple of times in the commentary there, I thought it was a stern test of the character of what Leicester are about right now. And I think they answered a few questions. Some maybe still remain open, but that would have been a wonderful game to win, but a real, not devastating, but a really hugely disappointing game to lose. And they did neither. So it's not too bad a situation, and they can stride into that game on Saturday against Ipswich with an element of confidence, but knowing they need to really produce. They need to up their game to levels, consistent levels, to get what they need out of the weekend's fixture.
Yeah, I guess Matt, Jerry is basically saying tonight could have been better in the end. It also could have been worse.
Yeah, I think that's, we're all sitting here a little bit frustrated, aren't we? That's all, because that first half was so good.
Yeah.
But I suppose it was, one of the oldest cliched terms in football. It was a game of two halves, wasn't it? But again, going back, Matt's made a good point. There's a string of young academy graduates coming onto the pitch near the end, and they all put a shift in. And hopefully that will, they will learn from that, dealing with that pressure. Decision making under that kind of pressure, again, away from home in a difficult game. That, soaking up that experience should hopefully be good for them.
It's just like all season, we've seen like 45 minutes, haven't we? Performances where it's been really good. It's either one or the other, and we've seen it again today. We just want to see Ipswich is going to be a tough game, but we want to see like a 90-minute performance. No point playing well 45 minutes if you're going to throw it away in the second 45. All that hard work's undone in the first half. So, we want to see a performance like a derby where you went 3-0 up and we battled and withdrew their pressure. In the second half, maybe you scored one, but we won the game. We need more of that fight in the second half after having such a commanding lead in the first half. Yeah,
a word on that Ipswich game. Then that's going to be a tough game. They won again this evening, beating Stoke at home. They're on a little bit of a run themselves. I'm surprised that one's not a bit more of a grander fixture on television. Maybe it's at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, but it's a huge game. It's a chance for Leicester at home though to really lay down a marker almost. If they can get a result against Ipswich, the league will then sit up and take notice of that.
Yeah, definitely. Ipswich are the form team or one of the form teams in the league. The great results against Stoke, who have been doing well recently as well. So, they come to the King Power with confidence. If we come up on Saturday and win the game, we've had 7 out of 9 points coming into the Christmas period, which you play, I don't know how many games over Christmas. It's always like very, very festive football, and you play obviously the Boxing Day. There's the 29th, and then obviously New Year's Day as well. So there's a lot of games coming up in December, and you have to be ready. The squad looks bare at the minute, so hopefully in January we can add a few additions as well, make the squad stronger, and try and get a few more points on the board as well.
Yeah, I think the only, not the only good thing, but one of the good things is that Ipswich played tonight as well, and that last night. So there's no advantage gained either way for either team basically. So hopefully it's a good game.
Hopefully. Final say, Matt, can go to you this evening for us down in the southwest at Bristol. Again, like you basically were saying tonight, obviously we're a little frustrated at full time, Leicester being 2-0 up, being pegged back to 2-2, but it's a tough place to go. Bristol are ahead of Leicester heading into the game. They could have then got a late win in themselves, so it's a bit of a mixed match night, is how you're feeling.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair comment. I mean, it's small margins tonight as well, wasn't it? Leicester were the better side in the first half. Bristol City had their threats as well, and had their moments. Like I say, I think it was quite an entertaining game. Penalty decision sort of came out of nowhere, didn't it, really? And although Leicester had the upper hand. But all things considered, like you say, they're a decent outfit, especially at home, Bristol City, aren't they? And they've got some good individuals. They seem to understand how they want to play quite well. And it's not a mammoth journey, but it's a substantial away trip, and all that brings. Not long after it's had the buzzing after the game on Saturday. It should be. But it's all part and parcel of the test of being a resilient squad, isn't it, as well as a talented squad. And a lot of players that Tags mentioned it there, that younger players will learn from this experience, and hopefully some good will come out of this game, not just the point that they can put in their back pocket. Could have been worse, as you say, Datey. Could have been a whole lot better as well, but take the rough with the smooth and march on to the weekend.
Well assessed, Matt. Thank you very much. Safe travels back to Leicester this evening ahead of that game at the weekend at home to Ipswich. It is, as we've said, a 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. That means we will be live from 2:30. so do join us for that on Saturday. There are still your international monthly passes and your listen live passes as well for either watching the games with us or listening to the games. That they'll be available for you. For any information that you do need, all you need to do is head on to Fox's Hub. That'll give you everything that you need to know. Thank you, as we said, to Matt, to David Nugent and to Jerry Taggart for their company here in the studio this evening as Leicester take 4 points from these 2 tough away games this week. They come back to King Power Stadium on Saturday. We'll see you all here then. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Goodbye.